Tre'Davious White on average is being targeted fewer than 3 times a game. So I'm curious to see if the Bills have him shadowing DK, and if so, who wins?
DBU, listen, Lamar Jackson versus Darius Leonard. Darius Leonard is creating a lot of things for this defense since he's been back. The numbers are astounding how much better they are when he's in the lineup. He's also the guy that's going to have to track Lamar when Lamar takes off. Can't wait to see it.
I'm looking for DeAndre Hopkins versus the Miami Dolphins corners. They had Xavier Howard signed to a big deal. They go out and get Byron Jones. To me, this is the top wide receiver in the league right now. And this Miami defense has been playing high-level football. So it's going to be a great matchup. And let's see who comes out on top, because I think that has a lot to do with who wins this game.
To what could be the game of the week, guys, Saints-Bucks, another matchup between these two grizzled foes, Tom Brady and Drew Brees. Brees 4-2 in his career against Brady, including his Week 1 victory this season. Familiarity and respect between these two galore. Here's what both of them had to say about facing off against each other, some of the history at stake on Sunday.
I'd say it's pretty cool. Winning history as that ever happened. I know, speaking for myself, I'm just laser focused on the job that is right in front of me and the opportunity that we have this week.
We've both been around for quite a while, so I have a lot of respect for him as a player, as a person. And, we're both close to the end and we are at the beginning. I think we both still, enjoy being out there on the field with our teammates, playing, competing. And it's going to be a very competitive game Sunday night.
We now welcome in Field Yates with more on Saints-Bucks, how everyone's feeling. Field, Drew Brees has been limited this week in practice. What can you tell us about his status?
Yeah, Laura, a lot of injury updates in this game, but a lot of good news as well. As you mentioned, Drew Brees with that right shoulder issue has been limited in practice all week, but he is expected to play on Sunday. No surprise to anybody who knows Drew Brees and his record of basically staying on the field for almost all of his 20-year career. And the good news for Drew Brees is they'll have some company on the field on Sunday night, and Michael Thomas, his star wide receiver, who, as everybody on this show knows, has not played since these two teams met all the way back in Week 1. It was first an ankle and then a hamstring issue, but Michael Thomas also expected to be back on the field in Week 9. He's got just 17 receiving yards so far this season. Nobody would have guessed that going into the midway point of the year. And even more good news on the injury front. Alvin Kamara was limited in practice on Wednesday because of a foot issue. He was catapulted to full participation on Thursday, so he'll be good to go on Sunday as well. He is on a historic pace right now in terms of receiving for running backs. He has been perhaps the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year. Now, on the Buccaneers side, some maybe surprising good news, as Bruce Arians earlier on today did say that Chris Godwin seems likely to play on Sunday. Remember, he broke that finger catching a touchdown pass 2 weeks ago, missed their game against the Giants. Seemed like he might not be able to give it a go on Sunday night. Well, he finally caught passes today. If he continues to feel okay tomorrow, you should see Chris Godwin on the field on Sunday night, which means that Tom Brady could have Mike Evans, plus Rob Gronkowski, plus Chris Godwin, and he'll just add Antonio Brown on Sunday night. I know you guys will get into AB and his impact throughout the rest of the show.
Yeah, Field, it's kind of crazy when you think about the list of this Bucs offense and what it's going to look like. And let's get right to that with Mina Kimes. Chris Godwin, as we mentioned, back there, and then Antonio Brown playing in his first game as a Buc. So, Mina, who do you think is the most impactful weapon for this Bucs offense?
Until I see Antonio Brown on the field and see that chemistry with Brady, I got to go with Chris Godwin, because we've seen what his absence does to the Bucs offense. In fact, we saw it in the last game against New York. It becomes more of a feast or famine situation. The intermediate part of the field, where Brady is so dangerous, is so important for Chris Godwin. In fact, when Godwin's not in the game on passes of less than 20 yards, Brady's expected points added per attempt are cut in half. Okay, and that doesn't necessarily mean, by the way, the ball's going to Chris Godwin. It just means his mere presence on the field makes it easier for Tom Brady. I said before the season, if you were to build a wide receiver in a lab to play with Tom Brady, he would have the skill set of Chris Godwin. I just think they're a perfect match, and having him in this game is enormous for Tampa, and it's enormous for Tom Brady.
Listen, Mina is an absolute genius because I agree with her. Coming into this game and also throughout this year, I've said that Chris Godwin is the most important piece that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had on their team. You know who's better than Chris Godwin? You know who has the same skill set? Antonio Brown. And with Antonio Brown being back, you get what Chris Godwin is plus more. I know everybody's looking at the Antonio Brown pickup like it's a luxury pickup. In the same kind of way they looked at KD, like they had Steph and they had Clay. But when you grab KD, you got a player on your team that can do what all those dudes can do, but better. And I think that's who Antonio Brown is. I listened to Mike Evans talk about the things that Antonio Brown would open up for him, or how he can take advantage of the single coverage, which is what Chris Godwin does so much of the time. I think the chemistry will be there. I think the synergy will be there. And I think when we see Antonio Brown play with those peppermint legs, because they are going to be fresh, fresher than the man who just popped a new piece of gum because he saw a woman he want to holler at, he is going to get loose against New Orleans Saints, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, that's fresh as all get out. Hey, listen, you know what was also fresh, guys? Was watching Antonio Brown in the Bucs uniform at practice. Just that video while you were talking, RC, stuck out to me. Let's switch to the Saints side of this thing. And Marcus, Michael Thomas coming back for the Saints. Maybe he's just as fresh as Antonio Brown. We haven't seen him since week 1. What kind of impact do you expect him to have for the Saints offense?
Yeah, no doubt. Let me make 2 corrections. First, Mina Kimes is a genius. She graduated from one of the pristine universities with one of the highest degrees. Secondly, Ryan Clark.
Stop.
You are magnificent as well, my brother, when you talk about Antonio Brown being souped up. Now, to Michael Thomas. Listen, this is everything for Drew Brees. He had him week 1. Michael Thomas he didn't have a gaudy game, but he made a few conversions, a few plays. You saw the trust factor between him and Drew Brees. Having him back also opens up more of the field because you have to pay attention to him. And how aggressive Tampa Bay's defense is, Michael Thomas is the guy that can work the man-to-man, and legitimately you feel comfortable with him winning that 8 out of 10 times. And the only reason I say 8 is because there are some really good corners for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Secondly, Drew Brees' comfort, right? We've been talking about air yards, and Mina introduced me to that. And finally, now in week 9, I understand what the hell it is. Now you get your guy back that you can throw a slant to, and he can make something happen with the ball in his hand. So not only does Kamara benefit from it, not only does Jared Cook benefit from it, one of the best quarterbacks we've seen in the game benefits the most. And they are going to need every part of their team in order to beat this Tampa Bay Bucs team if they have a chance.
Mina's influence permeating the show here. Ryan, we've heard about some of the concerns with Drew Brees, maybe the health, although he even said this week it's kind of overblown. Hey, go. Yeah, what?
Els, how good was those analysis just now? Those were some damn good analysis. People better tune in.
Yeah. Well, I'm still trying to figure out. Why people only put gum in if they're trying to holler at somebody. I think we should have gum all the time, but that's just my personal opinion. Anyway,
it's about important moments, Laura.
Okay, well, let's talk about a potential important moment for Taysom Hill in this game. You think we see more of him with Drew Brees kind of dealing with some stuff? I'm just pushing your buttons today, guys. I know you all love Taysom Hill, so go ahead, RC. We see more Taysom in this game.
Bro, why y'all do that? Y'all remember last year y'all did that? Oh, Drew Brees is hurt. Teddy Bridgewater is playing now. Watch how important Taysom Hill becomes to the offense. No, we ain't going to see no more Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill still going to run down on kickoff. He's still going to be on the front line of kickoff return. He's going to block people on punt team, and they are going to put him in when they want to gain an extra block in the run game or they want to run a trick play. That's it. That's what he going to play, y'all. They gave him a lot of money, and now y'all all tricked like, ooh, Taysom Hill, super good. He like a baby Steve Young. No, he not. He like Steve Old. He is not that. He not that. He don't do all that. And I don't know who put this question in the rundown. I told y'all at the production meeting that he ain't gonna do nothing different. He gonna do that same thing.
Whoever put the question in the rundown, thank you. Because just the sheer, I think Ryan Clark's eyes were about to pop out of his head there. I'm not sure. We might need to get a doctor. These are divided times in this country. I think we can all acknowledge that. But Taysom Hill might be just as divided as divisive as everything else that's going on. If you want to start a fight at Thanksgiving, Don't bring up politics. Bring up Taysom Hill. Just say the name Taysom Hill, and your uncles and your aunts are going to be screaming at each other. Look, here's the thing. Taysom Hill,
No, they're not, because they don't know him.
He's not the quarterback of the future, but he is useful in short yardage situations. There are moments in which he can be deployed. My point is that it's not like he's a feudal player on the Saints roster. He's just not the quarterback of the future. I think we can all agree on that. Doesn't mean he's not useful.
Mina, thank you for being a sensible one, because people always probably think you are the sensible one, but you got some stuff to you that people don't know about that we going to continue to expose as we go forward with this show. But listen, RC, Taysom Hill has tremendous amount of value, man, because he has the athletic part in the backfield. In the first game, they used him in the red area to give the run pass option. He has good legs. He can run the football. He's physical and powerful with the ball in his hands. I'm with you on the comparisons. People need to stop with that. But for this Saints team, he does add a provided element that could get them over the hump in some games.
All right, listen, the person responsible...
Marcus, you had to say that man had good legs.
Listen, the person responsible for putting this Taysom Hill question in the rundown is our producer, Susan Smith, but I'm responsible for asking